Hey YouTube, Helsinki Rocks AGF here with my 100 subscriber Q&A. I'm gonna do the questions, and I got a few from you fellow YouTubers, but I just wanted to get some extra questions. So I posted a couple topics on Game FAQs on the Nonstop Gaming board, and also on the Poll of the Day board. So they also provided the latter half of the questions. So I'm going to jump right into it with a question from Playa Lives. He wants to know what's my favorite game system and my favorite game for it. That's his first question. My favorite game console of all time is an absolute easy choice. That's the Sega Dreamcast. It's been my favorite console for nearly as long as I can remember having one. Before it, I had the N64 and the PlayStation, NES, and a Super Nintendo, but none of those just made me enjoy games as much as the Dreamcast did. With the Dreamcast, I feel like it's just a solid, pure gaming machine that lives, breathes, and died gaming. It's just a great machine. My favorite game for the Dreamcast, which is Sonic Adventure, which is an amazing game. I really want a non-greatest hits copy, but my original copy's long gone. But yeah, Sonic Adventure is an amazing game. The best in the series, in my opinion. I love Sonic Adventure. And his other question is, what console do I want to collect for now? Probably the Dreamcast. It's still it's my favorite console, and I don't have all the games that I really want for it. So I'd say the Dreamcast, maybe the GameCube. Either maybe the Dreamcast or the GameCube. Both have a lot of great games that I really, really want. Finn Gamer asks, what do I consider to be my rarest game? And I have two different answers to that because I'm not sure which I consider to be my most rare. Okay, first one here is a complete in-box copy of Final Fantasy 1 for the NES, which I only paid $1 for. The other game that would also be in contention for my rarest game of all time is the Christmas Nights into Dreams sampler disc, which is an amazing demo of itself, but a lot of people seem to enjoy it more than the full game. But yeah, I paid $2 for this. This is probably one of the other rarest games. Copies go for about $40, so another one of my rarer games. He says, where do I live and where would I like to live? Well, I live in Ohio in the United States, and if I could live anywhere, well, I'd probably live in Ireland or Finland, of course. I like both of those places. I have a lot of Irish heritage, so I'd like to go there, but I'd also like to, at least live in Finland for a while. Live in both places for a while would be nice. Both places seem like the kinds of places that I would really like to live. We have Apex, Apex.exe. Which video game character do I feel I relate to the most? I'm not too sure on this one. I don't know, I kind of have an attitude similar to Dante from Devil May Cry, but I don't really look like him, and I don't really, I'm not in the same sort of position as him, but I guess that's sort of my attitude. Is very similar to Dante's from Devil May Cry. And he also wants to know what some of my favorite bands or artists. I really love Nirvana and Metallica and Megadeth. I like some really obscure music like Long Way and the Reverend Peyton's Big Damn Band. I love all kinds of music. I mean, I really enjoy Crush 40, lots of video game music. Really, I'll listen to just about anything if it catches my attention. I mean, I even like Katy Perry, so if it'll catch my attention and I think it's a good song, I'll listen to it. So I guess it just really depends. Trigger Happy Child wants to know, I live in the United States, right? Yes, I do. And where in the United States do I live? I live in Ohio. And he says, if there's anything I hate in a video game, I hate, one thing I really always hate is time limits. Timed missions are okay, but when the whole game, like in a story mode, and for example, Knights, does this. You have time limits to beat every level, and I don't like that. You know, you're timed on the bosses, you're timed on the levels, and I don't like that. That really puts me off from playing a game. And I also hate enemies that. The biggest example is the Striders in Half-Life 2. I hate those because you know, you can really only kill them like in a couple different ways. You know, with the RPG or with the like plasma ball gun. Um, I just hated those. I hate enemies like that. The big enemies that are really hard to kill that really aren't bosses. I hate those. And here's from Full Movie Jacket. He wants to know, why do I think Final Fantasy VII is a terrible game? And he wants to know what makes it terrible in my opinion. Now, this is... I'm going to have to do a little bit of backtracking here. This is probably something I said one day when I was angry or just in a bad mood, probably on Pete's Game Room forum. But yeah, truth be told, I don't really think Final Fantasy VII is a bad game. Or do I know? Because I've never played it. And I plan on playing it eventually. But I just get to the point. It's the fans. The fans start to bother me. And they just kind of put it in my brain that they're annoying. And then I just probably said something I probably didn't mean. But yeah, haven't played it, so I really don't think it's... I don't really know if it's a bad game or not. But I will play it eventually. Louchhero. I'm not sure. Louchhero, maybe. What is your favorite freeware indie game that you've played? You know, a lot of these Dreamcast games that are coming out, I've had the opportunity to play. I haven't played all of them, but those games, I really can't pick one. But the games like Rush Rally Racing, you know, the ports of the Neo Geo games that like Red Dot Studios and people like that are doing. Those are probably my favorite indie games, mostly because they're keeping my favorite console alive. Blake from Blake's Game Room wants to know what's my top 5 worst games. Sorry, I got really bad heartburn. My 5 worst games. You know, I could say some really obvious stuff, you know, Superman 64, E.T., you know, Pac-Man on the 2600. The truth be told, I mean, I don't really play a lot of bad games. I pretty much have it set in my mind what I want to buy, and even if they have, you know, sort of bad reviews, I enjoy them. My 5 top 5 worst games. The games I enjoy playing the least, I could give you that. Sneak King, which is a terrible game, which I paid $1 for. I'm looking at my game shelf here. Perfect Dark Zero, I mean, it's fun, but, you know, I just don't have motivation to play Perfect Dark Zero. The God of War games, I mean, I love playing God of War games. They're fun, you know, but I don't ever want to go back and play them, so I don't really get motivated to play them, so, I mean, they're just kind of down there for me. And probably Sega GT 2002. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I was thinking of underrated games, but no, not Sega GT 2002. I love Sega GT 2002. You know, Panzer Dragoon Orta, it's kind of fun. It was my first game in the series, but I'm just not appealing to me, so I don't know. I mean, I'll try and get back into it later, but for now, it's not appealing to me that much. And number 1 worst game. I don't know. Maybe MotoGP, the first one. I bought that game and I had some pretty decent expectations for it, and it's terrible. It's just set on myself since I've got it. That question was hard. Thanks, Blake. All right. Are there any games that you found hard to get or a game that I've been looking for a long time. Yeah, I actually do have one of those, and let me reach over here off the shelf and grab it, and I'll join you in a second. All right, I grabbed the game, and you're gonna say, "Well, how is it hard to get if you have it in your hand right now?" Well, truth be told, this isn't actually a full copy of the game, but yeah, here I have The Legend of Zelda: Twilight Princess, one of my top 5 favorite games of all time. This is the GameCube version, which is the version that I prefer. Now, why do I say it's so hard to find? Well, there's no disc in here. I've had 6 copies of this game in my possession at some point or another, and I still don't have a copy of it. My original copy was stolen. My replacement copy was lost. My third copy was stolen. Fourth copy I bought, and it didn't work. And the fifth copy I bought didn't work. And the same for the sixth copy. I bought 3 copies of that game from 3 different GameStops, and none of them would work. So I just ended up keeping the case and the manual for one of them. So one day I'm going to try and get me a copy of Twilight Princess for the GameCube. He also wants to know what my favorite genre or genres are. I love adventure games. I love fighting games. I love racers. I love platformers. I like some shooters, kind of like on the Half-Life side of things. Yeah, I mean, I like the Tony Hawk kind of games, like the extreme sports kind of games, mech games. Those are probably my absolute favorites. He also wants to know what got me into collecting. What got me into collecting? Well, I collected on my own before, just as a small thing. I hadn't really collected a lot, and I didn't really consider it like a full-time sort of thing. It wasn't my main thing at the time. And I found a video by FinGamer, which was like his N64 controller video, and that got me like addicted right there. And then I went back and I watched all of his videos. I still watch his videos now. I'm starting to get to know him. I sent him a package. We're friends on here. He's subscribed to me. I've subscribed to him. Hopefully I get to know the guy a little bit better. He seems like a really great guy. But yeah, FinGamer what got me collecting. And then I found TV and Lust and Pete Dorr and all those other people like that. Gamester81. Obviously those are the big guys, and there's been some smaller guys, but those were the guys I found first. So those are the ones who inspired me the most, but none of them more than FinGamer for sure. Those questions were by Jamsus, Jamsus. Don Raiden, my pal from the Average Gamers podcast, wants to know what's my favorite style of hot dog, including wiener type, bun to wrap the wiener up in, and condiments. Now, I'm sure there's some sort of joke that I've thought of that I haven't said out loud, but truth be told, the only time I ever get hot dogs is, being the poor college student I am, is whenever I go to Speedway and get the 2 for $2. So whatever kind of buns they use there, and whatever kind of hot dogs they have there, and I usually just put ketchup or like the chili sauce on them. Pretty boring hot dog, but that's what I do. And now some questions from the people from Game FAQs. We have here, what's the most difficult game in the world? Water1111. I was going to change that to most difficult game I've ever played. Now, Sonic 2006 is difficult because of, well, I don't even have to explain why that's a hard game. But enjoyably difficult would probably be Devil May Cry 3 for me. A hard game, but a great game. How far away is my local GameStop? By Shadow Sword 87. My local GameStop is really not that far, maybe like a 3-minute drive, but there's only one in the town. I just live really close to the highway, which it's right off the highway, so yeah. My favorite game of all time, well, I have 2 that I can't really ever pick between. Sonic Adventure and The Legend of Zelda: Twilight Princess are my top 2 favorite games of all time. My favorite Pokemon, I actually have 3. I love Arcanine, I love Vaporeon, and I love Primeape. Those are my 3 favorite Pokemon. I also love Zapdos. Those are my 4 favorite Pokemon. They're always in my team in every game, so What is my most anticipated game of this year? Not necessarily the one I think will be the best, just the game I'm personally looking forward to the most. Um, Sonic Generations, I think, and because I love Sonic, it's my favorite franchise of all time. But can look absolutely looking forward to playing that for the probably for the PS3. Probably won't get it on the 360, but that, and if I had a 3DS, Luigi's Mansion 2 looked awesome. I absolutely want Luigi's Mansion 2. Those two games, Sonic Generations and Luigi's Mansion 2, will probably be the best. And the biggest disappointment, I don't really think I've been disappointed with a game so far, at least out of the ones that I've played. So yeah, I mean, no real disappointments yet. Those questions were by Zepster497. Ogurisama wants to know the hardest and easiest bosses in video game history. Again, I'm just going to change those just to fit me personally. The hardest boss I ever played, and I still can't beat to this day, is the final boss of Luigi's Mansion. I know his patterns. I know how to beat him. It's just a matter of putting it into practice, and I just can't do it. But very hard boss, but a very fun game. And the easiest boss for me, which I beat on my second try, because I had to figure out his pattern, and that's the boss from Sonic Colors. Now, this was an awesome game, one of the best games released on the Wii, probably one of the better Sonic games of all time. But yeah, the boss in this one is the final boss is very easy once you figure him out, and it's a great boss though, very fun boss. And the last question here is by the Cools. He wants to know if I consider video games art. Certainly, but it depends on the game itself. It's like movies. Some movies or some music are art, but then there's some that are just like faux attempts at art. Like you get a game like Heavy Rain or God of War 3. Those games are art. I consider them art because there's something unique. Half-Life is a game that's art. It's a unique game. But, there's games that copy those, and I don't necessarily consider those games art because they're copying. But, and then there's a game like Call of Duty. I don't really consider Call of Duty art. It's just a bunch of rehashes and recycled and copied, and the original first-person shooter games like Doom, and the original like 3D ones like GoldenEye. Those games are art. They're the originals. They did it the best, and they probably will always do it the best. But yeah, those games are art. I wouldn't necessarily consider Call of Duty an art, but it's a really interesting question. But I want to thank all you people for asking me questions. I hope I at least provided you with a minuscule amount of entertainment. And if I missed any questions, I'm sorry. I did this video right when I woke up, so I probably didn't get all the questions. But I'd like to thank all you guys for watching and help me get to 200 subscribers, because it should come one day. But until then, hope you guys take care.